If you're a facilities manager at a university, you know students rely on the cafeteria for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the occasional late-night snack. So when a dishwasher breaks down and dirty plates pile up, the mess hall can turn messy in the blink of an eye. Enter Grainger. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast delivery, the product you need now is never far away. So you can turn that dishwasher back into a lean, clean washing machine. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, don't miss the play. Flurry Sports will save your day. Cracking jokes with sports in sight. Zach and Jake, they get it right. Fuck yeah.
Hello, welcome to the season finale of the award-nominated Flurry Sports Podcast. Representatives from Volume 1, lean in close, because I do not want this to go unheard or to be misinterpreted in any way other than how I mean it. Go fuck yourself. And now that that is out of the way, you can tune out, because apparently you'd rather listen to, dare I say, the worst fucking podcast I've ever. Let's listen to Credit Union talk, and then let's listen to another one. By the way, just no one who listened to the second podcast listens or voted for them. Like, the votes that they got, I'm gonna misinterpret their name, but two gay dudes talk about gay stuff is essentially what the number 2 one was. And yeah. Red Wisconsin did not vote for them. I could guarantee it. This is a rigged election, and the Flurry Sports Podcast wasn't even on the list.
I would have been thrilled if they had won over the RCU Credit Union, who I assume's members just come out and vote.
RCU was third. Number 1 was the Passion Pod, which I always thought was a God-based podcast, and I'm wrong. So number
what
1, change your name.
Tips?
It's a decent, okay, let's be honest, decent idea for a podcast. I think so. Again, maybe I'm giving them too much credit.
You're actually a big fan. It's okay.
Yeah, big fan. No, screw them, because they're the ones who also beat out Bob Bosold for best radio voice. Yeah. So automatically I dislike you, but I think it's like people who are accomplished, basically passionate, accomplished in some way in the area, go on there and they just talk to them. It's just a new person, new guest each week. And I don't want to point out the obvious, but haven't been on their show, haven't been invited. So how good are they? Passion Pod, you come on our show and we'll show you how an interview is done, and we'll use, what we're going to do. I'll even say it up the front. We're going to surprise you with Bob Bosold. He's going to pop in. And then we'll see how passionate you are at that point. Shout out Randy in the chat. Randy didn't vote enough times for us. Not to point fingers, but so all this is to say, congrats to the winners. And next year, Volume 1, we are going to rig this election. Okay? And if we do not win, then there's some home cooking going on, which I presume is already the case. But we will have more votes than anybody else next year. I can guarantee you that. Up to you if you give us an award. That's on you at that point. Okay? Trevor, not the time. Not the time. Don't come in at the end of the conversation after we are slaughtering Volume 1 right now. You can't.
I'm legally obligated to throw it up.
Yeah, I know you are. That's why I'm like, you can't. It's like doing OH to a Buckeye. Like they have to end it. Any Trevor stories? Trevor, give Randy your own stories in the chat. But welcome to the season finale of the Flurry Sports Podcast. Before I forget and before I ruin the time off that we are supposed to take, once I have the calendar down and circled, and can promise you we will be back March 18th. That is going to be our first show back. That is March Madness week. We will be giving you the winner of the March Madness NCAA tournament on that day. How? You'll have to tune in and find out. We usually do it our own little way, but we are going to be entering the season that we're comfortable with, I would say. Non-football, we got a little room to work, and boy, oh boy, season 10 is a big one. Season 10 is a big one.
Randy, we know absence makes the heart grow fonder, though. We're going to be working on other stuff in the break, as always. Gives us some time to wrap up.
And there's going to be other stuff. We're still going to be doing some streams on here, so you're not fully gone without the Flurry Sports podcast. But like Jake said, we are working on some things that we will be working on over this next month, and we're excited to share that with you at a future date. A lot of big changes coming to Flurry Sports. Maybe some other big changes that will be announced very soon.
OnlyFans.
I'm just recording. That's what we're spending the month doing. We got to backload the catalog here.
Say Drake. Yeah.
True. Let's just talk about the Super Bowl. We can jump into the chat at that point, and then maybe we'll dip out. Give the people really wanting more. But Jake, what a good game was the Super Bowl. Oh boy, what a good game.
I will say, tough night for Peyton Manning. I've not heard the 2013 Super Bowl brought up ever since it happened. That butt whooping, it got confined because he won it the next year. It was a fluke. The Seahawks lost to the Patriots. Everyone kind of forgot that happened. They were like, oh, okay. Last night I heard it. I haven't seen this since Peyton Manning got his shit handed to him by the Seahawks. And it was like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Poor Peyton.
I will say, I feel like that Super Bowl was worse. What's your opinion on comparing the two?
This was much more enjoyable because, listen, there are movies that end with the bad guy just getting fucking tanked.
Yeah, that's true.
Guy came out. If this was reversed score outcomes, I think it would have felt that way.
Yeah, people would have been upset. Either way, I felt like this was a game that nobody won because even Eagles fans were like, man, what a bad game. Like nobody was happy with that Super Bowl.
I think it was the best for the structural propriety of New Orleans, though. Kind of took the buzz out of the lamppost. I also feel
the one person I think who loved it more than anybody was possibly Roger Goodell, because if you said the refs were on one side last night, I can tell you they were on Philadelphia's side. There was some interesting calls, interesting non-calls. No one feels bad for the Chiefs that it happened, but I think they were definitely in favor of Philadelphia. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely were. And it's hard when the whole game's out of reach. When did that happen? When did that happen? I was trying to pinpoint it, like Cooper DeJean pick six. Yeah.
That put it completely out of reach.
Because then it's 17-0. Before that, it's 10-0. Like it feels.
It was close. There was penalties that kept drives going for Philadelphia that held the Chiefs back. Like if the penalties were even and Travis Kelce just completes catches in that first quarter, the game's close. It was close anyways to that point, but it would have been a super close game. I think there was just zero momentum on the Chiefs side. And then all of a sudden they can't run the football. So now it's just, okay, we're just going to pin our ears back and go get them.
And then literally they don't blitz all night. That stack got thrown out a bunch of times. Didn't need to. And they're totally one-dimensional. The only thing I'll say about the refs early is, and I think everybody reacted the same way, but the game opens, first drive for Philadelphia, to go out on an offensive pass interference call. That was kind of bullshit. Like, the number of calls certainly leaned Kansas City, but when I saw that right away, I'm like, how was that not talked about in a pregame? The refs got together and they're like, listen, we're going to get a ride here. What are we doing?
Yeah. First call was definitely like phantom call, shouldn't have been called.
Yeah.
Then it was like, okay, we got to give them at least 10 makeup calls here.
Then they gave it a makeup call right away. Next drive. Yeah.
It was bad. Like, regardless of whose side you were on, and there's bad calls called on both sides, refs can't be that present in a Super Bowl. Like, I just thought it was bad. Bad product.
Bad product. Listen, when you got no O-line, it's a bad game, man. I hear you on the refs and the Travis part and all that. It's not competitive. It's not even close. If you can't give Patrick Mahomes time to be present.
Yeah, I think the Eagles won because of the Chiefs' bad offensive line. I think the game's close without Travis Kelce and the
Oh, for
refs,
sure.
though.
And I agree with you because momentum got so out of hand. I think,
Completely.
and like even on the Cooper DeJean one, the one where I'm a little like, what are we doing? Is after the
End of the
second
half.
pick. Oh my
Yeah.
God, it's over. It was over at halftime. And I
Mhm.
know everyone was like, oh, I called it last week accidentally, but everyone was like, Tom Brady, he's there talking about comebacks can happen. Not with it. I mean, you want to talk about over. They punt after halftime. It's
Yeah.
mathematically done. Like they had to score on every drive. So, I mean, it was crazy, but they weren't able to run. It's just one of those games where I'm like, sometimes you just get your shit handed to you.
Well, the issue with moving, I mean, this is X's and O's, but the issue with moving Joe Tooney to left
Yes.
tackle is that all of a sudden they can't run on the interior.
Yeah.
That's been apparent for a month. So you put him on the edge, which he's gonna lose snaps just because he's not big enough.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they can't run it down the interior, and so you can't do anything. It was just a disaster. Maybe, just maybe, the Chiefs will, I don't know, draft good offensive linemen this year because that's the only thing they need. Their defense, you wouldn't notice it if you looked at just the score at the end of the game, but their defense played so good.
Their defense played so good. It's hard because where do you start when things go so bad? But it's like they got in a boat where they felt like they couldn't run. And like you said, they were going to have issues running no matter what. But they got behind. Now they don't even try to run. Now Phillies just has so much time with the ball. Like, so it's all snowballing at that point. To give credit where it's due, I'm sorry I'm jumping ahead, but it was the one note I made during it. I will say, when the Chiefs got down, the game was over. I've never seen a better throw than Patrick Mahomes' touchdown to Worthy. With like,
It's pretty. Like, where has this been?
That was crazy. It happened, and Claire goes, "Oh my God, are they going to win?" No, it's like 40-7. It's not close.
It made everybody like, uh-oh. Everyone at the same time it was like, wait a minute, let's do the math here. Is it possible? Because
that looks so good.
If they had 2 more quarters, Chiefs win that game. You know what I mean?
If it was just ran out of time. 3 halves, yeah, 100%.
That because there's been people who are like, oh, because the Eagles obviously were just playing prevent at that point. That's not true.
No.
Like, if they were playing prevent, then it would have been a catch in the middle of the field, and then, you know, if they outrace them after that, then whatever. He got behind the defense. They were playing their normal base defense still. And all of a sudden things just opened up. I don't know.
Listen, they had it felt like Kansas City after the first half. I was like, did they get a first down? Like, it felt like they didn't hold the ball. And some of that was those crazy turnovers on plays like the pick six. They were having a decent drive.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Turnovers and then just drops. There's at least 4.
Oh my God. I know, drops early. It was bad, and Philly was making the use of it. If they play that again, I mean, it's just hard because that's how Super Bowl goes. These two teams are good. You could tell that in stretches. It's just, it got out of hand because you said this last week and is going into it. They were up by so much, and I'm still like, Kellen Moore, like, run the game away. Why are we? Yeah, because it didn't come to fruition, but Hurts throws a couple picks he had no right to be throwing the ball on, or one pick and then awfully close to a couple others. And it's like, and it works out on the one where they call the very gutsy play action touchdown pass where it's like, great, there's your dagger. I love that call because it's like, frick you, we're not running the clock down. But there were other moments where I'm like, why does Kansas City have so many chances? But it ended up not mattering. I can't believe they brought Kenny Pickett in. I can't believe it.
Me neither. For many reasons. We didn't need to put Kenny Pickett out there.
We're running in the JV. We're going to do that to the 2-time defending champs. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I wanted them to put Carson Wentz in.
Yeah, now let's see. Let's play another half. Let's see what happens.
That was the only moment when they went to the sideline and Mahomes was talking to Wentz. That was the one moment where I was like, wow, why did I think the Chiefs were going to win? Because Wentz isn't beating. It's like, that's not his story. You do not get to come home and beat the Eagles. That was the one moment where I was like, no, you lose. That's how that should go.
That's true. But I mean, here's the thing. If anyone told you the Chiefs were the better team before that game, they were just wrong or lying.
Correct.
Like, there's no doubt that the Eagles were the best roster. And I'll go on the record of saying I don't think the Chiefs have won a Super Bowl where they've been the better team in terms of like on paper. I just think they're coached better.
Yeah.
So it's just like who is the better roster versus who's the better coached. And sometimes the better, players who are on the field will win. Like the Eagles didn't do anything creative. They just beat the shit out of the Chiefs.
And they did beat themselves. I mean, it's the little things there. The only thing I think on defense is it's not creative, but they didn't do what I think sometimes teams do against the Chiefs, which is, we've really got to dig deep and try and do too much, and then it's going to cost us. And it's like, don't fucking do anything. Just leave the base. Vic Fangio special, by the way. Everyone today is like Vic Fangio, greatest defensive mind of all time. And I'm like, he loves that he got to fundamental somebody to death.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, that's the thing. I think we talked about it a couple years ago with the Niners. Like the best defenses, the way they are the best defenses is that they get pressure with 4. And then they can do whatever you want on the back end. And I mean, that's what happened when the Chiefs played the Buccaneers too. The Chiefs offensive line was so poor that they were under pressure with 4 almost instantly. And that was the case last night. They made the Eagles look like the greatest pass rushers of all time. And they weren't that. They're very good, obviously. But like on the edges, Josh Sweat had no business like getting 3 sacks or whatever he did. That's it. Jawan Taylor should be arrested. Like that's where I'm at. Everyone knows he's bad. Everyone knows he's one of the most overplayed players in the NFL. He lost the Chiefs the Super Bowl. Let's not even pretend. Like, I understand criticizing Mahomes. I understand knocking him down a peg in terms of greatest talks. But boy, if he had no time. It was not even like a little bit.
Not only, and this is what people don't understand. Like 6 sacks is a huge amount. And when I heard 6, I was like, that feels low. For like the amount of pressure he was on. Yes. And people don't understand, like you get this from like the O-line perspective and like covering the sport the way you have, but like there is a difference between forcing a QB out of pocket and he was contained the whole night.
Everyone got pressure. Yeah.
Correct. Consistent 4-person containment is almost as crazy as consistent 4-person sacks. Yeah. Like the fact that 4 people and he couldn't scramble. That's awesome.
The whole thing with the Chiefs this entire year, their offensive line hasn't been good the entire year. In terms of pass protection, in terms of on the edges. On the interior, they were good. But the Chiefs just got the ball out immediately. Just, get the ball out. And then you let Xavier Worthy, who's the fastest man on the planet, essentially, just run. And the Eagles, I mean, they were able to get pressure with 4. So then they just brought everybody up. So like, okay, so there's no quick passes. Mm-hmm. And if Mahomes got 2 seconds, then there would have been more plays like that Xavier Worthy deep touchdown. Because the Eagles were giving them that the entire night. Yeah. They just literally couldn't get there. And you have people like Hopkins, who's phenomenal, had a bad drop, but he can't run. He still has a torn MCL, I think. Travis Kelce can't move.
No, I know.
Seemingly Marquise Brown couldn't move that much, which is weird. It's basically Xavier Worthy and nobody else in terms of burners.
And listen, the Eagles were selling out for what they got, which is the 1 Cooper DeJean pick 6. That coverage. All you needed. But if you looked at it, he's drifting all night trying to get his hands on the ball. And it worked. And that probably helped put the game away early. It was very much the first momentum swing. So, I mean, to give the Eagles credit, everyone's singing the Eagles defensive praises. I think whatever you wanted to see out of the Eagles offense, listen, they're stacked. Like, I think the fact you can go into a game and go, like we talked about last week, man, is AJ Brown going to score? Like, yeah, like it's like this team's really good. I think for all the rightful criticism you could, I don't think Jalen Hurts is one of the top whatever quarterbacks you want to say. Pick a number. I don't think he's in the top echelon. He's really good at his game. I think, honestly, listen, not to make it a race thing, but if that guy looked like Peyton Manning, everyone would be like, man, you can't replace the stuff he brings to a huddle. Like,
Yeah.
he is a great decision maker and a really good, like, just this term is so like game manager is what I want to say, but that is Alex Smith, and he's not Alex Smith. But
he's a game manager. You're
Yeah.
just not using it as an insult.
Correct. Correct. He makes good decisions. The only thing he could ever do wrong is like, don't force it places. Like, you have so many people that's open. He checks down.
Mhm.
I was so impressed with how many times he went to Saquon on checkdowns yesterday. Like,
Yeah.
the Chiefs sold out to stop Saquon, and he still got plenty of touches. I listen, I thought they looked good overall. I think it's crazy that Nick Sirianni ended the game by going, "Kill him more, please."
Yeah.
And it's like, you're fine.
Stupid. Yeah, don't do that. That looked bad. I didn't
see
like
what
that.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see
It's gonna be
afterwards
okay.
when he came out? They did like some after party. Did you see what song Nick Sirianni came out to and was like singing the words to?
No.
"My Prerogative" by Bobby Brown.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. He was like, "Oh, they say about me." I'm like, "Oh, that you could tell he's been like thinking about it." I'm like, "Okay, that's interesting."
I like Sirianni a lot. So
I love Sirianni. Listen, this team is fun. I had a great time.
Yeah.
They're easy to root for. I thought like I was watching Rocky 3. You saw Rocky go through it. Sometimes he just needs to beat Clubber Lang in like 10 minutes. It's not, that's fun.
that's fair. I like the Eagles. I was cheering for the Chiefs. I like the Eagles. There's just a few people I really dislike on the Eagles, and it is what it is. So
Lane Johnson.
no, love Lane. I hate the guy to the left of him though. I hate Mekhi Becton. Boy, I've never seen a worse offensive lineman win a Super Bowl, maybe ever. He is no good.
Yeah.
But you know what? Give Sirianni all the credit for realizing, hey, if we have two all-pro guys on either side of them, we can hide the 6'8" monster at guard. So it'll be fun.
All right, big talking points coming out of this game before we leave the football part of it is on the Kansas City side. I think you kind of already addressed the retooling they're going to do. Get some linemen. They'll add a weapon like always, but get some linemen.
The issue is their best offensive lineman. Their best is Joe Tooney. Second best offensive lineman, Trey Smith, that right guard, who's possibly all pro right guard. He's incredible. He's a free agent.
I know.
And there's teams with a lot of money who need him. So if he goes for money, which he should, he's gone. And that makes his bad offensive line so much worse. Like, he should go to New England or Chicago. And I assume both of those guys are going to pay him insane money.
Well, what could free up a little bit of money? I think if this game is 10 points closer, I think Travis is for sure done. I was getting that vibe and energy. There's no world where he retires on this Super Bowl. He won't do it.
No, well, earlier in the week, he said he hoped to play another 5 years. And everyone's saying, I think he's done. I don't think so.
I thought it was 60-40. He was going to come back anyway afterwards. I don't know. I was just, from the way he was kind of carrying himself, thinking about it. But I agree. If he was thinking about it before, I think there's no chance now. But
you can't leave on that.
Well, here's the only thing. Okay, let me flip it. He wants to come back. If you're the Chiefs, should he be TE2? Like,
no. Like, I think Noah Gray's decent. I think you need more weapons. He doesn't need to be. Travis Kelce hasn't been an every down guy in the regular season anyway, but he shouldn't be an every down guy anymore, especially if the Chiefs want to retool their offensive line and run the ball a little bit more, which they probably should. Then, I mean, just go get. There's a lot of really good tight ends in this draft, by the way, but go get a tight end who can block a little bit better. Because Kelsey's a decent blocker. We don't need to be wearing out his energy blocking, though.
No. I'm wondering about scheme. I agree. I think he still has use out there. It's just what I'm wondering is, like, it's been a couple years, I think, since we've seen, like, if we take Travis out and put like a young stud TE in there, is that the new league's best tight end because of the way Mahomes throws?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I certainly, let me get this out there. They won't be as good as Travis. I don't want it to be like Travis is only that good because of Pat Mahomes, but it's just he's getting older, and I
Yeah.
lost the step. Is fair to
For
say.
sure.
Yeah, couple.
Tight ends or receivers in particular, the best ones are former quarterbacks just because they understand what they're seeing and they read the defense. I assume the Chiefs draft a decent tight end this year. And then I think Travis is going to start to coach him to be the next Travis Kelce. And then we're going to have to deal with this new guy with Patrick Mahomes. That's what I think is going to happen.
And I think that's what they should do. On the Eagles side of things, I mean, the most interesting question is how identical does this team look next year? Do they essentially run it back?
I think so. Other than defense, I think has more questions than offense. Offense, I think everyone's back.
Does Lane Johnson finally retire? He's not as old as I think he is, but
why would you retire right now? Like
on top, everyone always do. Okay, I do think this. No one knows when to retire. It's like my favorite trope. Everyone's always like, if we won, I'd leave. Then you leave. You know, everyone does it. I just say this, NFL players, I know you're listening. You know who you are. Leave when you want to, because it's hard. I feel like you win a Super Bowl and you're like, I can't
come back
leave
if you
now.
want to do that too.
Yeah.
Come back.
Jason, I wanted we
how bad does Jason Kelce feel, man?
Terrible. We put Kenny Pickett in the game, but we couldn't put Jason Kelce in for a snap.
And can Jason Kelce do a speech at the parade?
Is he allowed? Right? He's going to be somewhere in this. He's got the suit. He did the whole show saying he still has the bumper suit.
True. He should. I don't know. I'm not sure. He'll be there for sure. He may not want to give a speech just because it kind of feels weird. He's not part of the team, and I get that.
If he does,
I can see Lane doing it, putting the suit on.
That would be fun. If he does it, it won't be like at the same moment. Like there's so many parts of the celebration. He could do it at a different thing. Yeah. ESPN might bring him out to do something. I don't know. But
honestly, yeah.
It'd be who knows? I agree with you. He might not want to do it. But
defensively, they have to pay Zach Bond. They gave him a cheap ass 1-year deal and lucked out on that. Now he's going to be possibly the number one defensive player on free agency. Brandon Graham is up there. I could see him retiring on top. If one person's going to retire on top, I feel like it's him. Then they must have another. There's got to be maybe CJGJ, the safety. He might be a free agent. I don't know. He might have just signed a 1-year deal. Someone else, but defensively is the one I'm worried about. But Vic Fangio is so fucking good. I understand he didn't have to do a damn thing this Super Bowl. But he probably turned his mic off halfway through. But I trust him to create a good defense no matter what. Especially with.
But he's a good coach.
You got Cooper Machine. Yeah, he's an incredible coach. He's just so many people dislike him. Like in Miami, the players just hated him. They didn't want to run his scheme. Sure. So.
Darius Slay's in his last year of contract, so they still got him. I was like, I know his is coming
How
close.
old is he? He's got to be like 32, 33.
He turns 34 this year.
Yeah, I mean, they just drafted 2 corners. Like they drafted the replacement plans.
Yeah.
He's
and
good.
Like I said, he's on this year. I don't think they try and move him, but I don't know. Listen, they've never gone an offseason not been aggressive. So I'll be curious about that. A Super Bowl really alleviates a lot of like, what do we got to like? I think of the Rams of like, you can kind of play it close to your vest because otherwise, I think I'd be wondering about. Do you have a Saquon Barkley insurance policy? Like it obviously works so good this year, but do you beef up his backups because law of returns gets banged up? But I don't know. I think they draft some folks. Maybe they add a couple, names, but I think they kind of run this back and go. Here was my thought out of it though. This is crazy. Why do I feel like Nick Sirianni's job is no more safe than it was like before the Super Bowl? Not in a bad way, but it's like we were talking about firing this guy like 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, which is insane. 2 Super Bowl appearances in 4 years. I think he's got 1 year left on his contract, and with all the new signings and stuff like that, I assume they're going to give him a very big extension. So I think his job is technically safe. I think fans are still going to hate his guts if he does anything wrong next year, though. Like, I don't think he's safe from people criticizing him.
This is the last year.
I think he's going to make, 15 plus million per year if Ben Johnson just made 13 after accomplishing nothing.
If everyone's smart, this is the time to do it. Because Nick Sirianni, as much as I like him, like part of what makes him good as a coach is he's got a fuck the world energy, Yeah. So sign while everybody's feeling good, because otherwise eventually he'll use that as motivation. So sign now. He's only got 1 year left. Then I mean, they're set up. They're a really well-run team. We talked about it. I think, I don't know. For me, this was the more complete team coming in. And this is the first time in a long time, like leaving, I'm like, if I had to guess only one of these two teams was back in the Super Bowl next year, I don't know if I'd pick Kansas City.
Well, that's the thing, Jake, and let's use that as a segue, shall we? Because everyone knows that the Super Bowl logo tells us who's going to be in the Super Bowl. It's happened seemingly for the past decade at least. The colors represent the team that is in the Super Bowl. So, Jake, this is the Super Bowl for next year logo. Super Bowl LX Super Bowl 60. And they decided to go with every color possible, which is a little bit annoying. But I will say the biggest ones that pop out is Detroit Lions blue and pink, which I don't know what that means. But Detroit Lions blue, I feel like, is the NFC. Maybe this is all of the colors of the teams represented in the NFC and AFC championship game. So maybe we get a Detroit Lions versus maybe Green Bay Packers. You got green and yellow there. You do have red. You do have yellow. You have pink. So, I don't know what pink is. But what's your thoughts on that?
Listen, I think the heart sees what it wants to see. So that's not quite the phrase, but I almost got it. I think I'm going to start with the obvious. This isn't what I want to happen, but it's what my eyes are drawing to. The pink, to me, is most prominent. We don't have a pink team, but we have a purple team. Could we be getting – I know I want it to be the Lions, but what if the NFC team is Minnesota? And then blue, boy, do we get Zach's worst Super Bowl of all time? Bills, Vikings.
Boy, that would be a
someone must win. Someone's going to lose 5 Super Bowls. Honestly, Zach, hear me out. This is my pitch. This is my pitch to get you to root for the Buffalo Bills. I found it. Okay. Buffalo Bills, I know, are not your favorite team, but hear me out. They come next year. They really earn their stripes. You don't have to worry about Josh Allen winning another MVP. He's cooked, so he's good now. They come in. They make the Super Bowl. Zach, the Vikings could not only lose a 5th Super Bowl, they could lose it to they'd be the biggest losers in NFL history. They lose, and it gives a team the dream that they never had. Is kind of awesome.
Here's the issue. Who's the Vikings quarterback? Because I have a pretty good idea who it's going to be.
Aaron Rodgers?
Sure seems that way.
Yeah, 100%.
The Raiders really want Sam Darnold, and Aaron Rodgers no longer going to be with the Jets. And we know Kevin O'Connell loves Aaron Rodgers. They work out together. They are friends.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Why wouldn't it just be another Brett Favre situation?
We're really
Why
just
wouldn't that happen?
Remakes. Yeah.
Could you imagine if Devontae follows him there? It's Devontae, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison.
Here's the thing, Rodgers had a decent year. Everyone's acting like he's washed.
He played well.
He played good. I think he could follow him. I think the Vikings salary is interesting. Here's the thing. You're probably right. But sometimes I like to think to myself, what would the funniest option be? And there's a quarterback out there who's going to be on a different team, Zach. He's going to be somewhere else. He's going to be somewhere for cheap. Everyone hasn't talked about him, but I think he could really prove himself in Minnesota. That's right. Kirk Cousins. You're back, motherfucker. Send him home.
It's possible. I mean, the issue is they're going to have to we just need the Falcons to grow a pair and cut them. Just cut them. Knock it off.
I know.
Like, you're not going to trade them. Knock it off. Go do that. Otherwise, you still have Russell Wilson's out there. Justin Jefferson, I think, is going to be with Pittsburgh, but you never know.
Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy's interesting if some team decides to just empty the wallet. I don't know if San Francisco can do it.
No. I don't
Daniel
know.
Jones.
Do they want to? Daniel Jones is going to be somewhere. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, currently with the Vikings, never know. Maybe he's the quarterback.
Daniel Jones is going to be in Pittsburgh. I just like feel it in my bones.
It does feel that way. Pittsburgh is another team that needs to knock it off. Just draft a quarterback. just draft someone you know is good and have a plan. You don't need to keep doing this charade. You knew Kenny Pickett was bad when you picked him. Don't even pretend. Hey, everybody knew.
Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett to you. Super Bowl participant Kenny Pickett. He got snaps. It's like in high school when we played Aliva Strum and I got to go in.
I was criticizing Mekhi Becton and someone told me you'll never take away that he's a Super Bowl champion. And now I'm suddenly realizing I have to deal with Mekhi Becton and Kenny Pickett have become Super Bowl champions at the same time.
Yeah.
And now I understand truly why I wanted the Chiefs to win, because that's disgusting.
I know. The NFL offseason has a lot going on this year. I wish we had a Hard Knocks to cover it, but it really seems like we're not going to get one.
Never know, but boy, has anyone checked in with the Giants front office right now? How is Shane doing? How's
that clip's
Mara
going
doing?
viral again? Mara's going viral. I'm not going to sleep good tonight.
He may have not slept well this entire season.
I know.
I'm nervous.
By the way, I Googled it yesterday. An executive from NFL Film said, I don't know if we'll do it, which to me feels like a soft, we're not.
The guy who like leads the charge was on McAfee, basically asking them to contact general managers. So, yeah, I don't think it's going well. Why would you? Because that's the only clip people are seeing, by the way. No one remembers anything from Hard Knocks, really, except for that Saquon scene.
If they watch that season, though, because here's my thing. I watch that season, I go, no one's as dumb as Joe Shane.
True.
They won't look that bad. There is, I'm with you.
That.
I'm with you. I do hear the argument of there is a part of GMing that is very much, don't tell me how the sausage gets made. It's never going to look good.
No.
So I think we've pitched our fixes on here before. I think they could totally get away with just covering the scouting and drafting part. Give me more draft night, less free agency talk, and it's all good. But here's my thing. No one made Joe Shane ask his kids who they'd pick. He did.
No. He's the doofus.
He's the doofus. No one made him do that. He had to talk about Saquon. He didn't have to laugh when Pat Mara said he's my favorite player. I'm gonna cry. He left the room and he went, "Oh, that guy. Oh, you like Saquon? Okay." No one made him say those things.
It's not too late to fire Shane either. If you're the Giants, just fire him.
Play it back. I wrote a song about it. 200th episode. Go take a listen. But wow. Look how far.
That's what I was going to do. Let's talk about the halftime show of the Super Bowl. Then I have a little game we can play with our episode names, maybe for the season.
I do love that. Here's a super quick trivia question for you. I went back and looked because I heard this talk. All the teams that have won 2 Super Bowls in a row and then not successfully three-peated, just like the Chiefs did.
Okay.
Who do you think is the most recent?
The Patriots.
Okay. What year?
I mean, I assume it would have been before the first Giants one.
Yeah, this took me off guard. Like, if you look at the history of it, I got everyone who did it here. It's Chiefs, obviously coming up short in the 2025 Super Bowl. The Patriots came up short in the 06 Super Bowl, so 04, 05. So that's the biggest gap in the history of the league. Because then we got the Broncos, the Elway back-to-back, and then he retired and they were terrible. So they didn't get close. Dallas, the 3 out of 4 years, but in the off one, they went 12-4 in 94, but won the division, lost the NFC Championship game to Steve Young.
Have they won a playoff game since? Oh, they would have that year.
The next year they won the Super Bowl again, and then they have not. So them, and then San Francisco themselves, same thing happened. They coming off of Montana in the 90 season, they had a chance to three-peat. They don't make the playoffs. The Steelers did it twice with a year separation. So in 78, 79, and then the 80s, it was all over. Terry Bradshaw's out. Everybody's out. They don't make the playoffs. End of an era. And then again, so 76 after 74 and 75, they don't quite do it. But that one, they just lose the AFC Championship game to the Raiders. Okay. Miami in 74 went 11-3, won the conference, lost their first playoff game. And then Green Bay famously did win 3 world championships in a row, but won only 2 Super Bowls, and then Vince left and they were bad. So from what I saw, which I kind of thought was weird, Chiefs are the only team to three-peat and make it to the game.
True. I mean, that kind of goes to show how insane this dynasty kind of is that we're in the middle of still, I think, technically. I'm not even sure if we're at the end. I think we are in the middle. Like, they're good. I don't know if they're going to make it to the Super Bowl next year, but I'm confident saying they're going to be good. I think they're still set up.
I thought it was a good context for just how dominant this run has been. Mahomes isn't 30. They're going to be bad. They're going to be okay. Insane. Yeah. So
like, everyone's like, see, I told you he's not the greatest of all time. Correct. But he has plenty of time to get there. He has a decade at least.
He can't run for president for another 7 years, motherfuckers. Give him time. Yeah. So
it's insane.
I know. Speaking of people who are insane and are not going to give anyone a break, Kendrick Lamar came out.
Yeah.
I'll say I loved it. It's not a surprise. I'm a big Kendrick fan. It is getting a lot of, I would say I don't know. It's like I've heard a lot of people explaining why it was good. And a lot of people saying it's not good, which, to be fair, I think means that the more popular perception is that it was not good.
I think that's fine. Like, I also enjoyed it. I'm also, have been a Kendrick fan. So understand the beef that's been going on, understand Kendrick, knew all the music. So obviously knowing the music coming in is going to help.
Yeah. And you listen to hip hop.
True. Yes. I'm not the most bland white of all time. But I think for the casuals, I think it is a bad Super Bowl performance. If you have no context of the beef, don't really know the music, you're coming in like, okay, I'm just hearing this musical artist, possibly bad from a music standpoint. In terms of production and all of that, I still think it looked awesome. I don't know, at least compared to everything else. Like, I don't think Rihanna's was good. The Weeknd's, I'm still dizzy. I don't like. There's a lot going on. The LA one, the only thing we remember is 50 Cent hanging upside down. That was weird.
Do you remember what was last year? I did look this up yesterday.
Was not Rihanna?
This is what I'm talking about. It was Usher.
Oh yeah, Usher he was okay. He was on roller skates. That was impressive.
I think this is a good dichotomy. I thought the Usher one was fine. But it did a good job. Everyone could watch the Usher one and go, good. He's a good performer. And I think
more mainstream hits too.
100%. And they went more specific here. But here's my only thing. I 100% agree with you. This is because it's not a shade against Usher. Usher's got more recognizable older hits for sure. I think that's one of the big things. Kendrick, if you are under a certain age, I heard someone be like, I wish he played bigger songs. Humble is bigger than any song Usher played for a certain age range.
Yeah.
Like, or as big. Sorry. Yeah. Times 3 is pretty big. Okay. So there, I'll throw it out. But Humble and DNA were like #1 hit songs.
Massive. Yeah.
So
Not Like Us is pretty massive too.
Not Like Us is the biggest song on the planet. I will get the casual thing. I think holds up with Not Like Us because I had that moment yesterday because there was people at the party who had never heard that song before. And I was like, I don't know
I
how,
think
but
that is weird. But I think the casual thing holds up to even Humble. Like if you don't listen to it, you don't listen. Like you may have heard it, but if you don't, it's just so different. Rap in particular, rap and country, I think are kind of parallel in this way.
Yeah.
Like if you don't listen to it, it just all sounds the same and it's just gibberish.
Yes. And like you don't know what the words are or anything. And like I think I don't know. I don't think this is controversial to say that Not Like Us was the biggest bop he played yesterday. Although that's not fair. Humble is a huge bop, and I can't help you if you haven't listened to TV Off. TV Off fucking slaps. It's good. So
I mean, in terms of what he did with the song too, that was the best one.
In a moment yesterday, I literally with party people, I was like, oh my God, he wrote this for this. It's like I never that I was literally like, he wrote a song. I heard TV Off the first time and I was like, that's clever. The idea of like, I am so omnipresent, Drake, and everyone who hates me that you can't have the television on. That's great.
Yeah.
I swear to God, he wrote that for the Super Bowl. I think he did because he came on and played it. And he was like, if you hate me, you couldn't watch this fucking game. I was like, that's awesome. That is cool. And by the way, if I hated somebody that much, I'd play it in the Super Bowl too.
For sure. I love having Serena there. That was great.
Yeah. But
it made me double take. I'm like, who is that fucking Serena Williams?
Yes.
Like, oh my God.
It is weird. And it's hard. The only extra thing I'll say about the casuals with Not Like Us is like I found myself trying to justify why it was okay that Kendrick was accusing Drake of being a pedophile. And like, like without the context, they're like,
without the context, it's wild.
Yeah, because everyone yelled A minor, everyone in the whole world, and they all held it out. And Serena Williams is up there crip walking, and they go, "Has Drake been arrested?" And I was like, "No," but
that's the issue. Now we're talking about it. See, that's the conversation starter.
I was like, he's bringing attention to it. Yeah. But so on that aspect, I get it, because then you got to walk him through. Like, well, here's what he said about Whitney. Here's where it came from. Here's 20 years of Drake being a creeper.
Yeah. Here's Drake asking the girl's age on stage after she said she's a minor, then he starts making out with her. There's stuff like that.
Here's Millie Bobby Brown saying that her and Drake talk about boy stuff, which he's like fucking 15. Listen, there's a lot of smoke out there. There's also a lot of lawsuits. So it's all alleged. I don't know what's going on. All I know, maybe it wasn't for you. I don't understand where it's like, Tom Petty was out there on his fucking deathbed, and I wasn't like, oh man, who's this for? Like, I got
Tom Petty, Maroon 5 stunk, Coldplay stunk. Like, let's not pretend. There's been some bad Super Bowl performances. And again, performance good, music is your opinion, but he played his music well.
Yeah. I'll take this as my great. You can't make everybody happy ever with the Super Bowl. You just can't.
No.
I swear to God, the one Super Bowl.
This is a lip synced hard. Like that pissed me off. I will say that, because she didn't sing a damn note.
Someone in the party was like, "Is this a live mic?" And I was like, it is for Kendrick, but it's not always live." And then SZA came out. I was like, "See."
Yeah, she was singing the echo. She wasn't even on fucking beat.
I know. The one Super Bowl. This is such a good example, I think, because I was like, everyone must have liked this Super Bowl. They killed the performance. They were great on stage. Everyone knows these songs. Everyone's going to love the Jello Shakira halftime show. I go online and I have to read about all the Christians being mad they were wearing sequins up there on a pole.
I thought the halftime show stunk, other than I got to see Shakira, to be honest.
Oh, Shakira.
I hate Jello, though.
Okay, I think that's fair. I wish it was all Shakira. Shakira's out there playing the drums.
I don't think Beyonce was good. Like, even two Beyonce people, I feel like she wasn't very good.
One, she did it pre-Renaissance, pre-Lemonade. She didn't get to do it at the right time. So
it's her fault.
Should have had hit sooner. That's the other thing I'll say. My whole thing with Kendrick is, I honestly don't think the people who didn't like it wouldn't have mattered if they listened to his new music. Like, they don't listen to his old music. Like,
that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you had zero context for him, I don't think it's a good casual performance.
But Sam Jackson's out there. I thought
Nobody understood it. No one understood Sam Jackson. That was the issue, by the way.
His name was Uncle Sam.
I know, but people didn't. I think they just said uncle and they didn't put it into like, oh, his name is Sam Jackson. People didn't understand that. People didn't understand it's the first time a sitting president was at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The fact that Kendrick's performing this and doing all of that in front of the president is awesome. Like,
he pretty explicitly called him out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
saying,
time, wrong guy.
Yeah, and Sam saying, too ghetto. Like, a lot of people didn't understand like what was going on.
So that was the only thing for me was I was like, I get people not getting it. It was crazy to like repeat all the things that Sam Jackson said on screen. That was the part where I was like he was like, don't be too ghetto, don't be too street. And everyone's like, I couldn't understand it. Why was he bringing up gangster stuff? I'm like, okay, check.
I heard people agreeing. They're like, yeah, he was too ghetto. Like, hey, part of the issue here, but
also you can't say that. Oh man, like the part that got me was I heard 5 people today, old white people, and by the way,
of course,
I will be one of them with time. Give me grace. We will all get there someday, hopefully. But I heard so many people in the office today be like, "Well, I like the part with SZA." Jesus fucking Christ! They said that. They said you would. They said, yes, right. Good. He slowed it down. Nice job. Now we're going to play Not Like Us. By the way, no one cared when he played Euphoria.
No, nobody did. No. I don't know. I don't think Kendrick changed anybody's mind with his performance, I guess.
No, here's my thing. All these people are going to cry until they like get Garth Brooks out there. I got bad news, folks. You don't know who Garth Brooks voted for.
And also you don't know where Garth Brooks hides the bodies. That dude is a psycho, and we don't need him in front of a mic ever again.
I agree. I just think I'm gonna give Claire credit for this comment because it's good. These are the biggest. Kendrick Lamar was the biggest star in music this year. It was cool that he got to do the Super Bowl. Like we were begging for that for years with some of the big rock bands, and they missed it. And now I'm sure we'll get the Killers when they're fucking 50, and it'll be great. But I would rather have somewhat contemporary big names. Like who do you want up there, and why are they all 60? Yeah.
I would like to have a rock band again, but I don't know who it would be. Like I've been cheering for
Creed.
I've been wanting Foo Fighters forever. That's not going to happen now. No. Creed would be wild. That would be incredible. Let's do that for sure. Let's write that in.
I would at this point in time, if we could fully right the wrongs and Nickelback comes in so we could publicly forgive them, I think they feel relevant. But this is what I'm saying. I was telling somebody, you want a rock band? Congrats. You're going to get Imagine Dragons one of these goddamn years.
Oh,
you're not going to like that either. They're not bringing out the Stones.
Paul McCartney was there. Let's get Paul out there. That's one I think people would be okay with that. That might be the most crowd pleasing.
You're not going to hear any Paul McCartney slander from me. I love it.
And then for one special song, Ringo is out here. Let's go, Ringo.
Yeah. You think Paul McCartney's going to be any more captivating than Kendrick was? I heard so many people talk about, well, Kendrick was just a little low energy. Paul is going to be on dialysis out there.
I mean, I saw him at this point now, maybe like 5 years ago, but he was fucking running all over at that point.
True. Listen, who am I to doubt Paul? Say I'd be fine if they brought Billy Joel out there. I say this as someone who would like some of these old folks they would wheel. I'd watch a Dolly Super Bowl.
Same.
Be great.
I totally here's where our minds are at. You said Dolly, you meant Dolly Parton, I assume, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking Dolly Pitbull. So also a good choice. I think maybe the best way to do classic rock is just to do kind of like they did the LA rapper thing.
Yes.
Like maybe just have a bunch of guys out there and each band plays 2 songs or something.
And I will say, here's a criticism I'll throw at the Kendrick one. Maybe what we learned from this, maybe you need at least 2 guests just to keep it a little fresh, a little more sections to it. So I might be cool with more, medleys.
I will say the way even though just SZA and he joined her, like they kept it moving. I thought in terms of production wise, they had them moving constantly. Like I thought it looked good.
Man, I thought the whole thing was. I thought it was great. I was shocked. People thought it was boring. I thought it was easy to watch.
People hated it. Maybe it's just online, internet people doing internet things. But I don't know. I was surprised too.
I think you nailed it with he didn't change anybody's minds. And listen,
no.
I think especially at the Super Bowl, for sure at it. I guess that's not a profound point. I don't know how many conservatives are fans of Kendrick, and I think most NFL fans at this point are conservative. I mean, by the numbers, most people in America are conservative. So
True. I think it's a mix, though. I don't think you can pin it to a political thing.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I guess I was just like,
especially after those goddamn athletes were kneeling a few years ago. I think a lot of them left for a second.
They all came back. They
never.
That's
left.
What he should have done. He should have brought out Colin fucking Kaepernick. Then we could be talking about something. Brought out Serena.
Boy, even if Kaepernick was shown in the audience, everyone would be like, "Hey, we're Super Bowl ever." Me included, by the way. I'm sick of them, but still.
Yeah, me included got me. Yeah, I don't know. It's in San Francisco next year. Are there any big San Francisco bands I'm not thinking of? Fucking Huey Lewis and the News.
I mean, is the Grateful Dead from there?
They are. I almost said where's Weezer from? My bad.
Notably. I don't know. There's got to be a big band from San Francisco that's not like hippie old school.
I'm on it. Bands
I don't know though.
From San Francisco.
Or just I guess I don't know.
Okay. You were right on Grateful Dead.
Okay.
Jefferson Airplane.
Of course, yep. Same sort of issue.
We built the city. Steve Miller Band.
I love Steve Miller Band. That'd be great.
You hear me out? Journey.
Okay. I mean, okay.
Adam Lambert. Nope.
And
Queen.
Steve Perry. Still. Well, no, Lambert's Queen. They have like that Filipino singer.
I knew it. Yeah. I wasn't 100%.
Apologies if I have the wrong country. I think he's from the Philippines, though.
I think you nailed it. That was what I was hesitant on. I was like, oh, they have the man from somewhere.
He sounds exactly like Steve Perry.
Yeah, they found him. So, I mean, bring it back. I love, am I not going to be in on Separate Ways? No way.
Oh,
of course. I know.
Honestly, I don't hate that. Journey would be okay. People would call it a cover band is the issue. Oh, we have a cover band playing the Super Bowl. I'll do that. Again, hand up. I'll do that. I love Journey.
Actually, I like that take. I like practicing
it's a good
takes. Yeah. Nope. That's one I'm gonna keep. Actually, I'll take that one. Zach, you got something fun to send us out on at the end of this season.
Okay, so a lot of times we have to look back at shows and then we kind of get a good self pop. Like, what is this about? This title of the episode. So in this season, again, this is season 9. It looks like we've had roughly about 20 shows. So this might be the 21st show. So I'm just going to name a couple of the article titles and let's just see if we can figure out what we were talking about. If you at home know, please write it to Hannah Bruner at Elk Mountain School District. Just
in the comments.
Of course, in the comments as well, Randy, if you know, or anybody else here. And if you don't know, maybe go back and listen to it because we had some bangers this season. Which was a running joke, I will say. Episode 1 of the season was definitely season 9. Still haven't really nailed that down, but it definitely was season 9. Okay, episode 2, big plans for Mizzou. Do we have any idea what that college football of some sort, right?
Yeah, I think I remember this one.
Okay, what is it? I have no idea.
I think this is a reference to me. By the way, I still have the save somewhere, but we made a plan to we were going to fix college football as we often do. We were going to realign the conferences. And I think I teased. I've got big plans for Mizzou.
Okay. And to be determined. Maybe that's season 10. We will reveal our plans for Mizzou.
Swear to God, I don't remember them. I don't think the plans were that big in hindsight. Maybe Big Ten. I think that's what I had.
Probably. Everyone's going to the Big Ten. Okay. Episode 3. What we learned ESPN learned. Any idea?
It's a good title. No fucking clue. What's around that time? No idea.
It's September 17th, so it could have been week 1 or 2. NFL.
Oh, is it Ohtani? No. That's off on the timeline. We're in the full swing of the baseball season.
Yeah, true. I have no idea. Episode 4, I do know, though. It's Cornbread Sutton, one of my favorite moments of this season.
What was the inspiration for that, though? We're just naming guys whose names would be good.
That's a good point. I think we had a list of athlete names. We're like, who would be good with Cornbread's just a good football name.
Yeah, I think that's what we did.
We were matching Cornbread to the player.
Remembering that Cortland Sutton exists is one of the best moments of the season. That's so good.
Cornbread Sutton was a war general for the Civil War, for sure.
By the way, I'm sure you said it at the time, but Cornbread Tooney's up there.
Cornbread Tooney is up there. That's another very good one.
Cornbread DeJean. We definitely did say that.
Cornbread DeJean would have been great.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true, actually. This next one was one that inspired this for me because I think it's a funny name and I have no clue. It's Mr. Meester. So Mr. and then Meester, Meester. No idea. I don't have a fucking clue.
No idea. By the way, do you have the answers written down to these somewhere?
No, I don't know.
Awesome. No clue. Yeah, I've got no read on that.
The description of that show was Jake has his list of best NFL head coaches ever with a twist. That's when you were doing the.
So I remember the list
and stuff.
Yeah.
Meester, where does that come from?
Mr. Meester. Yeah, I don't know.
I have no idea. Somebody go back and listen to it and let us know. What's another good one? Will he Sam Darnold it? Love that. He did. So
yeah, it took him a while, but yeah.
No creative solutions. You had another segment you brought. Smuckers has sponsored this NFL season. That we really did a deep dive there.
That's an all-time episode. It's a great episode.
That is a good one to go back at. Lost at Sea. Like who?
I think we got enamored with the phrase. I think we were like, he's really lost at sea.
Maybe the description is Zach and Jake do special presidential bury the lead. Oh, it might have been something with one of the presidents.
Oh, yeah.
We also discuss Curse of Oak Island and look at their loser teams.
It was how one of them died, or like one of their parents. It was like we were going through their Wikipedia page. It was just like his parents were lost at sea, and it's like
one of the coolest things of all time. I think
you don't see that anymore.
No, that is true. No one has been lost at sea in fucking 40 years. I feel like, in terms of a death. That's a great one. Next episode was Grok hates Zach, which I think is still true. Grok is very pro you, not me. Can't touch the long snapper. I believe that was either the Packers Bears fiasco, maybe something else.
Oh, it was our special. It was, but it was also our special guest episode with Luke Reimer.
With Luke, yeah, he was run with his head down the entire length of the field like a jackass. Discussing the Dabo in the room. We were preparing for the college football playoff.
Yes. I still feel vindicated by that. Best article I've ever written. Hey, everyone, this is what's happening.
It's true. Episode 199 was episode 200 Eve. So not much going on there. Episode 200 was Sin Seriously, which is something I said it at some point. I know that. I don't remember what it was about.
That's good.
Worst Sauce Gardner. So we're talking about Sauce Gardner with something.
The 200 one, I will say, I think Sin Seriously came during. I think about this. I think one of my favorite bury the lead revelations, which is that Tom Landry once alternated his quarterbacks on every snap.
Awesome.
To send a message.
So good.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah. That is very good. It's Gotta Be Me. I feel like
It's
I
gonna
said
be
it.
me.
I feel like I said it arguing something like no one's gonna say it, so it's gotta be me. It's something that I'm sure many people said. I
Many
have no
people
idea.
said, yeah,
Yeah. Skip Bayless offered us $2 million.
it's a
So
good
that
one.
was honestly that got a lot of clicks. So good title, Zach. Come on, Bill. Do you remember which Bill I said that about?
No.
Because I do. Let's see if the description helps you. Zach and Jake discuss wild card weekend and who would make the best Super Bowl matchup. That does not help which Bill it is. I will say that.
Is
You have
it
any guess?
Belichick?
It's not Belichick. That's probably the betting odds favorite, but it was not. It was about
Ew.
wrestling. Does that help?
Come on, Bill. Goldberg.
It was Bill Goldberg. Yeah. We don't need more Goldberg.
Come
I
on,
said,
Bill.
Come on, Bill.
He's still in the rumor mill, by the way, and everyone's basically confirmed he's the one fueling it. He just keeps calling people, and he's like, "I'm available." We're like, "We know."
Elimination Chamber for sure. Petrified of Von Miller, which didn't come to fruition. Weirdly,
Yeah, that's true. Hey,
come home, Jim. Oh, I know who it is. Do you know who the Jim is? We got a theme going here.
Come home, Jim. Harbaugh?
No, but you're in the right mind space.
Why did I say his name like that?
Football coach. Though.
Oh, wait, is it Tressel?
No, but you're getting closer, maybe. They're younger in age, though. I like you're in a Big Ten mindset, though. That will help.
Jim. Oh, Leonard.
Jim Leonard, yeah. Come on. Come home, Jim, to the Packers. For
Yes.
Sure. And then last week's What a Waste, which is a story from you. Talking about your size, talent. Some coach said it to you.
What a waste. That's true. We've had a couple good with the episode with Luke. I was thinking about that. I feel like this was our funniest season of random high school callbacks.
For sure. I think Randy definitely inspired that. So just give a little shout out to Randy. Let's answer a couple of his mini questions here, maybe.
Yeah. Hey, Randy, I don't want to say you wasted your first question tonight, but I don't think worst one night stand you've ever had is going to get any good answers from Zachariah.
Worst one night stand?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not. Okay.
Any Trevor stories? He's been asking that a long time, but I don't really. The only Trevor story I have is the one time him and I did a show together because Zach couldn't make it. Trevor literally spent the whole preamble of the show being like, okay, we have to talk about your sisters, but I really don't want them to be mad at me because I'm such a big fan. And whatever he said on the show afterwards, Emily and Hannah texted us and were like, I hate this fucking guy. And he was trying to be so conscientious about it. He's like, I really like them. He's being so nice. And afterwards they were like, no, we don't like him.
That is true. Yeah, no idea what he said. Can almost guarantee it wasn't something he did say, you know?
No, it's the way he didn't say something. Yeah.
For sure. Are we going to play WWE? I think we should at some point.
Yeah. That's in the plans.
Who's making the baseball playoffs? Nate, who's your favorite to win it all? Let's do that.
My favorite to win it all this year, you'd be silly if you were going to bet and you wanted to lock, it'd be silly not to bet on the Dodgers. If you were going to pick anybody to win, not name the Dodgers, everyone's sleeping on the Braves. The Braves are still really good. They were just banged up last year. So they're a good one. I will say, Zach, one random thing I wanted to miss. Did you see that Ichiro, how close he was to being a unanimous pick?
Unanimous pick for what?
The Hall of Fame.
Oh, no, I didn't see it.
One voter of 300 and some purposely didn't vote for him so that he wouldn't be unanimous.
Oh, do we know who?
I don't know, but Ichiro in his press conference very ominously was like, I'd like to hang out with him sometime. Maybe invite him over to my place. He's definitely going to kill that, man. Like, what do we do? Baseball sucks. Just make Ichiro the nicest guy ever unanimous. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's in anyway.
No one's going to look back and be like, this Hall of Famer was a unanimous vote. Who cares?
One guy it's always one guy.
True. I'm usually the one.
Do we get Bills Lions next year? I think no.
No, but we'll get John. I think it's Lions Chiefs.
Is Jake doing
Mine's
another
just-
40? Is a good callback. Anytime. If we get to 40K subscribers, I'll do another 40-yard dash.
Wow. Okay. You hear to hear. We will have medics on standby.
Hold on. I need to put a timeline on that. I can't just say if we get to 40 ever. If we get to 40 by the end of next season.
Okay. Let's do next football season. How about that?
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
Okay. You heard it here.
Worst college football team ever. I mean,
what was the question?
Worst college football team ever.
Northwestern for the past decade, maybe. No, Rutgers. Rutgers stinks. Screw Rutgers.
Vanderbilt historically, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Who's your favorite UFC fighter?
It's GSP, man.
I did know that.
Yeah.
Notable Marvel superhero in my mind.
Yeah, if I had to pick a modern one, honestly, now I'm not going to remember her first name, but Rose is
Thug Rose.
Thug Rose is
cool.
I don't care if she wins. It's the only fighter I feel that way about. Get in there, get him. Also Francis. I mean,
Francis is good. I'd like for him to make a comeback and fight John Jones. Like, let's figure it out.
Yeah.
Randy, are you a big Thug Nasty Bryce Mitchell fan? I'm not sure if Jake understands that reference.
Nope. But.
I think Dana recently called him the stupidest man alive.
That means a lot coming from Dana.
He may have said, he's like, this is a guy who drilled through his nutsack. He's a fucking moron. Then he had to drill back. So Bryce Mitchell just started a podcast, probably has been nominated, will win a podcast award from Volume 1 before us. Went on the record on the show. Episode 1 started hot, said Hitler is a good guy. So there you go.
That's been in the water lately, though. So to be fair, him and Kanye, that's the only. Have you seen that? Have you gone to Yeezy.com?
No.
He's got, if you go to do it right now on the air, go to Yeezy.com.
No. I love Kanye.
Hey,
I heard he was doing something on Twitter and I purposely, oh no.
So sorry.
What? Why Kanye?
Only $20.
Only 20, huh?
It's the only thing in the shop. Kanye.
Why? Size 1, 2, 3. What's that mean? Okay, well, let's get this off.
That guy wrote College Dropout, man.
Banger after banger after banger. Then the Kardashians had his mom killed. So I don't know.
I kind of want to go out on this one. Thoughts about Jello?
It's fine.
It's a hot take. It's fine. You don't think here's what I'll say. You know what place? I think should be how we rate China buffets. If you got Jello there, it's a good China buffet.
Interesting.
I judge a China buffet by how much non-salad is in their salad bar.
True. Some China buffets, a lot of them have banana pudding. The ones that go above and beyond put some of those Nilla wafers on there too.
Yeah. Yep.
Incredible. Notable for those in Wisconsin around the Chippewa Valley, there's one China buffet in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Has a chocolate fondue fountain. Banger. On that fondue fountain, different things to dip in. Not a mistake because it's always there. They have cherry tomatoes on skewers for the chocolate fountain.
Man.
What are they doing?
I went to pick up a to-go order from our China buffet here in town. I just told Claire this story too. Because a couple days ago I went to pick it up, and as I walked in, this little girl, she had a real Hannah Burner childhood haircut going on. Her hair was past her ass. So
the long one. I was thinking bad school picture. Boom. Okay.
That is her worst school picture. Oh man, that one, and then Emily's one where her face is perfectly round are my two favorites. But shout out to them. But they'll be happy they made the pot. But in any case, this little girl, she's like 4. She's running around, her hair's dragging on the ground. She's running past the fish tank. As she's leaving, she's so cute. The mom was like, "Hey, what do you say to the cashier? Can you tell her thank you?" And the little girl looks at her and goes, "Konnichiwa," and then runs away. For some, Konnichiwa as a thank you to the China buffet lady. Power move.
Yeah.
And as she walked out, the mom went, "I'm so sorry," and then left. And I was like, you know what?
I'm so sorry, ni hao. And then bowed and then bounced.
Namaste.
Yeah.
Yeah. This you got to dismount, but I don't know. Listen, can we all? We're at a China buffet. We're trying our hardest. Little girls learning.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Vibes are always high at the China buffet. It's fine. It's
Well,
okay.
Claire made this point. The mom didn't say, "Can you thank them in Chinese?" The mom just said, "Can you say thank you?" And the little girl took it racist. So, it's learned.
She was trying to relate, did the best she could, and you're gonna have a misstep sometimes. It's fine.
That's what the Chiefs had this weekend,
That's what Andy Reid's saying right now. You know what? Had a misstep. I should have done one less Fumble Rooski commercial. That's on me.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Zach, am I going to have a whole offseason of people being like, maybe they should have done so much media? Oh,
of course. I mean, you've already had it with Travis Kelce. Right?
Travis shouldn't have been in that one show nobody watched.
That's true. Honestly, I mean, maybe I said it in the heat of the moment, but I was pretty I think he needs to break up with Taylor.
No.
I lost too many fucking bets because all my parlays basically lost because I had Travis Kelce 40 plus receiving yards. How many fucking receiving yards do you think he got? 39.
Yeah, that's crazy.
39. Fall forward. That's all you had to do. Break up with Taylor.
All of the stats say he's better when she's there. And I know that because their stat departments are crazy. You don't need to tell me that.
Well, maybe she was not in the stadium then.
Oh, what if she left?
She probably after she got booed by the entire stadium when she was put on the big screen. That awesome sucks. Video. Yeah. You can't have that. She needs to have the social awareness to know there's a camera on her because she got booed and then she asked what's going on. It's great moment. Hey. Self-reflection. Get out of here.
Here's what I would say. If that ever happens to me, hey, cameraman, what the fuck I do to you? I'm trying to have a conversation. Oh, everyone's booed. Who's the poor schmuck? Oh, me. I'm gonna go cry.
Yeah, no, you gotta lead into it at least, though.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, not everybody was gonna do the Zach Bruder stand up. Give it to me.
Pump the crowd up. Let's go. I can't, Hulk Hogan it. He's had a couple boos in his day.
He, by the way, still got it.
Oh yeah,
the booze.
Of course. So
that's a season, folks.
That's a wrap. You know what?
Couldn't have done it without you.
Well,
we have, but it's nice when you're
you
here.
know what? We got next season. We're gonna fucking put our nose to the grindstone. We're gonna build this up. Okay. We're gonna be. Everybody needs to be hard workers in season 10.
Yeah.
Season 11 is award season. We will be back in award season. And everyone needs to be taking a Skillshare online course on how to hack elections. True. And we will all need to be creating programs to put in every fake email, every fake vote. Everyone needs to do their part. We have a month. We will be back on March 17th or 18th. And then, you know what? That's your homework for the next month. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
Season 8, we helped Emily find love. Season 10, we help us find love.
Very
Award
true.
Love,
Award love. Boy, maybe it's bad juju that I started creating award shelves in every section of my home. But now we need to start filling them. Okay, people. It's time to go. Until then, check out Flurry Sports. Big announcement coming soon. Big changes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Jake needs to run a 40 soon. So let's subscribe for that. Other things happening. So we will be back in a month. We may pop up. We are over on Twitch all the time streaming games. Jake and I will pop on there and do some WWE at some point. Otis is itching for a title run. And we will see you soon.
See you then.
A month-ish. Goodbye.
day. Cracking jokes like sports inside. Second check, they get it right. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah!